Welcome to video worship from the Unitarian Church of Los Alamos. Whoever you are, whomever you love, wherever you are right now, wherever you are on your life's journey, you are welcome to be part of our community. The wheel of the year has turned again. Once more the Thanksgiving season has arrived. How shall we sing our song of gratitude now? For what shall we give thanks? For this moment, for friends near and far, for our breath, for love, for courage and clarity, for strength, for delight, for laughter, for beauty, for the tables round which we gather, for the food we enjoy with friends, seasoned with love and with memory, for the sun and moon and stars in the sky, for the trees who have seen so much and still proud, stretching themselves to the sky, for the bright voices of children, for the wisdom of elders, for the actions that bless this world, for hard work that makes a difference, for music and art and celebration, for generosity, for compassion, for endurance, for joy, for hope. For all these things, we now give thanks as we worship together. Love is the doctrine of this church, the quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve life in fellowship, to the end that all souls shall grow in harmony. Thus do we covenant with each and with all. Candles have been lit this morning for safe travels for those who can't avoid it during this pandemic, and for happy homecomings. And for all those now dealing directly with infection during the pandemic. So many of us have experienced coronavirus only through the news or indirectly through shutdowns and secondhand connections, but now more and more of us are experiencing it in a personal and a direct way. So maybe this is a candle for all of us. Our dear member and friend Bill Vischer died this past Sunday morning after a long illness and a brief stay in hospice at Sombrio Nursing Home. He was 92. The Vischer family is holding a private memorial service for him. But now, as is our tradition in this congregation, I light this candle of life in honor of William Moritz Vischer. May Bill's name be written in the book of life forever. Let us honor his memory in silence. Please join with me now in a spirit of prayer and reflection. Spirit, every day we experience hunger and yearning for food, for approval, for respect, for love, for meaningful work, for any and enough work, for home, for family, for friends, for health, for healing, for hope, for the departed and for the newly arrived, for the green trees and for the cool, clean waters, for shade in the heat of the day and for stars to light the velvet night. Spirit, every day we are invited anew to be thankful for food, for approval, for respect, for love, for meaningful work, for any and enough work, for home, for family, for friends, for health, for healing, for hope, for the departed and for the newly arrived, for the green trees, for the cool, clean waters, for shade in the heat of the day, and for stars to light the velvet night. Our hearts beating in liberating flight, we soar in gratitude for all the gifts we have in this day, in this lifetime of being, and turn again to share this bounty with all that is. Amen, and blessed be.
Hey guys! So today we are sharing our graces and our gratitudes with each other. And so I want to know how you give thanks for all the amazing things in your life. How do you give thanks for all those things? What do you do? Maybe you write down what you're thankful for. Or maybe you draw what you're thankful for. Maybe you write down what you're sad about too sometimes, or what you're not so thankful for. Like many of us are probably not too thankful for this COVID pandemic we are living in. I know I'm not too thankful for it. So when I was a younger girl growing up, our family would always give thanks out loud at mealtimes. We might give thanks for the food we're about to eat, or for our friends or family, or other things we were thankful for at that time in our life. We would say these thank yous out loud. And we would also say nighttime prayers and graces and gratitudes before we went to bed. We would say thank you for the day together as a family. So now, as an adult, I have realized that this prayer for saying our thankfulness and gratitude out loud that I said when I was a kid, it's a very you prayer. So I will share this prayer with you today, and maybe you would like to use it too at your bedtime with your family. So here it is. Here's the prayer that I grew up with for saying thank you and before I went to bed. And it goes like this. The day is over, the world's at rest. And you can say it with me if you want. The day is over, the world's at rest. Keep me safe, keep me blessed. Tomorrow help me learn and play, sharing love along the way. Thank you for my family too. Make them pleased with what I do. When in trouble, hear my prayer. Now to sleep in your safe care. Amen. So you and your family could say a prayer like that before bedtime. You could be talking to your family in this prayer. You could be talking to a God in this prayer. You could be talking to a spirit or energy or some sort of spirit or energy or God that you believe in. Or you could be talking to yourself. Really, you get to define who you are praying to. So I also have these graces and gratitude and blessings and prayers that will be in your UU adventure bag. If you're signing up for one of those, you will get these prayers and graces and gratitudes and blessings in those bags. So some of these blessings are blessings and gratitudes for the earth, or the blossoms, or the morning, or the gifts of life, or the spirit of life, which we sing about in our church, or for our food, or for each other. So make sure you sign up for a UU adventure bag, and you will have these graces, prayers, and blessings. Or if you just want to send me an email, I can send you these in an email as well. Oh, and one more thing. Did you know that singing songs can often be us expressing our graces and gratitudes and prayers and blessings. Did you know that? Think about the songs you sing and how they speak to you as you sing or play on an instrument your gratitude. So here is a grace and gratitude I will now end with that you might know the tune to, or you might have grown up with, or you might sing in your family. So this is a grace. That's a singing grace. Oh, the earth is good to me, and so I thank the earth for giving me the things I need, the sun and the rain and the apple seed. The earth is good to me. So keep voicing your graces and gratitudes with each other. Gratitude and thankfulness can definitely help us find joy in our lives. Amen.
Our reading this morning comes to us from the Reverend Robert Walsh, More Than We Deserve. I heard the second Brandenburg Concerto played in honor of Bach's 300th birthday, and I was swept away. I remembered a story about the people who sent messages into outer space. Someone suggested sending a piece by Bach. The reply was, "But that would be bragging." Some say we get what we deserve in life, but I don't believe it. We certainly don't deserve Bach. What have I done to deserve the second Brandenburg Concerto? I have not been kind enough. I have not done enough justice. I have not loved my neighbor or myself sufficiently. I have not praised God enough to have earned a gift like this. Life is a gift we have not earned and for which we cannot pay. There is no necessity that there be a universe, no inevitability about a world moving toward life and then self-consciousness. There might have been nothing at all. Since we have not earned Bach, or crocuses, or lovers, the best we can do is express our gratitude for the undeserved gifts and do our share of the work of creation.
joy and tribulation, when matter we care and hope, then we are free.
In a year where time seems to have lost all of its meaning, I have spent the last several weeks wondering how it is we have arrived at Thanksgiving already. How have we gotten to this part of the year? And as I've prepped for another Thanksgiving service, I will confess I have spent the last several weeks also wondering if even celebrating Thanksgiving makes any sense in the moment. I've heard some people say in the last week or so that gratitude feels somewhat trivial in the current moment. And sometimes I have a hard time disagreeing. Because in the midst of these times of personal chaos, in these times of communal uncertainty and division, it is our sense of loss and of grief that is heightened. All of that feeling of loss and grief is very real and very necessary. It is absolutely legitimate. And I know we're all feeling it. After all, we had a huge response at the beginning of this month for our service on loss and grief. You shared so much of yourselves in that moment. And when we are spending so much of our personal energies on soothing our pain, on finding ways to hide from it, or finding ways to heal it, it is very, very easy to miss all of the gifts and all of the graces that come into our lives, and easy to ignore the people in them who offer those gifts and those graces up to us. Indeed, it is very hard to see in this moment that life itself is this unearned gift, as the Reverend Walsh calls it in our reading this morning. But amidst all of this chaos and all of this uncertainty, amidst all of this loss and all of this grief, the fact that life is a gift and one that we have not necessarily earned, that fact remains unchanged. And friends, the only response to such a gift is gratitude. When it's hard to feel grateful in the moment, these moments of grace and the gratitude we feel is the polar opposite of trivial. These gifts and these graces, this gratitude we feel for them, it is precious. And it is equally necessary and legitimate, as necessary as acknowledging our grief and our loss. When it's hard to feel grateful in the moment, gratitude becomes an exercise in intention. It becomes our spiritual practice. And when we are practicing it, it helps us to keep sight of those unbreakable connections we have to one another and to the world around us. It helps us to keep sight of how we experience this unshakable love that we are participating in. It fends off the ultimate sense of despair. And so this week I asked you to share once again the gifts you have received in these trying times, the graces you are aware of and the gratitude you are feeling. And friends, this is how I know that this is hard to feel in this moment, because we received much less sharing this time out than when we asked for losses and for grief. So I'm grateful for those of you who have risked naming gratitude in a time of deep communal loss. I thank you for your example this day. It is important to name those gifts and those graces as it is our losses and our grief. And so because it is better to light one candle, as they say, than to curse the darkness, today we will light candles as a way to lift up all of these precious, necessary moments of grace and our gratitude for them. We begin by acknowledging that some this day are grateful that they can hang on to the basics, for the continued gift of life, for access to food and to shelter, for the security of continued employment. We are all too keenly aware that this is not the truth for all. We say a humble prayer of thanks for this grace in our lives. Some are grateful this day for their health, for continued good health, for coming through crises in their health, for access to good health care. We are all too aware that this is not the truth for all, and we say a humble prayer of thanks for this grace in our lives. Some are grateful this day for the gift of time that has come with lockdowns and public health orders. This time has afforded some of us with the chance to learn and to reflect and to grow, for the opportunity to learn new things, for the chance to explore what feeds our souls, for the chance to explore this beautiful world around us, for the pause that affords us time to appreciate the little things, the mundane things that might have gone unnoticed before. We are all too aware that this is not the truth for all, and we say a humble prayer of thanks for this grace in our lives. Some are grateful this day for the challenges that the pandemic has presented. From struggle comes appreciation for what we might take for granted, and a deeper meaning for how we carry out our work and our play. For the new skills learned, for new ways of being and creating, so we might be whole in spite of our obstacles. We know all too well this is not the truth for everyone. We say a humble prayer of thanks for this grace in our lives. Some are grateful this day for communities of all kinds and the ways they continue to accept us and support us, and the ways they give us a sense of love and friendship in our lives. For the people known and unknown who hold all these communities together and who work for justice and equality in our communities. And for our church community especially, we express gratitude for minister and staff, for lay leaders and volunteers, for all who give of their time, their vocation and their avocation. We say a humble prayer of thanks for this grace in our lives. And some are grateful for family this day, for the sense of love and support and acceptance they receive and are shown by spouses and children and relatives. for the understanding provided when times are hard and tensions are high, for the chance to be together at home in a new way, for the ways we manage to stay connected when we are divided by space, for the family who has come before us, who made sacrifices that we might live a better life here and now, and for the birth of new family members, for the addition of new life to the world in the midst of so much suffering and death. We know this is not the truth for all. We say a humble prayer of thanks for this grace in our lives. This is just a summary of gratitude named. And now, whether you have shared with us before or not, I ask as we enter into this time of silence that follows, that you call to mind some grace you have received, perhaps been reminded of in this litany, and hold it fast in your heart. For the gifts we have received, for the graces yet to be offered, we say a humble prayer of thanks. Amen. Each month, our church chooses one charitable partner to dedicate our Sunday offering to. For the month of November, all monies collected will be given to our friends at the Roadrunner Food Bank in support of their work to help relieve food insecurity in New Mexico. Please use the Givelify app on your mobile device, or use the link on your screen and in the service notes below to make your gift. May what you give bring you joy and into deeper relationship with your community. Friends, may life bless us and keep us. May the light of life shine upon us and out from within us and be gracious to us and bring us peace. For this is the day. This is the one wild and precious life we are given. So let us all find a way to rejoice and be glad in it. Go in peace.